to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Come, my brother, come, my sister. Let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique together. We could do it together. I want to welcome you to the Hub. Again, another opportunity that you and I have to converse using radio and social media to connect, to reach each other. And we are grateful for technology. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off tonight by thanking all the people who came here at my little spot, my little space, to celebrate 9 years with me. It was an amazing night. Well spent. We ate, we drank, we danced. It was wonderful. I was not expecting that amount of people, but we had way more than we catered for. And the people came from near and far to be here to celebrate with me. I'm eternally grateful. I want to express my appreciation to you and all those who support behind the scenes to make this a reality, who gave drinks, who prepared food. I mean, there is a gentleman, he and his family, they prepared a full meal, a whole, plate, so to speak, for about 50 people. In other words, you get rice and peas, you get kalaloo, you get chicken, you get, that was really good. And I was never expecting that. So I want to thank you, my dear friend, for doing such a good thing. You surprised me. Also, the visitors who didn't tell me they were coming, they came from the United States, Canada, and so on, to be here with me in the United Kingdom, to be here with me, and it was really, really impressive. I want to express my appreciation to you and quite a number of people from St. Andrew, St. David, St. George, St. John, St. Mark, St. Patrick. I mean, you came all the way down to be here. I want to thank the ministers of government who came by to celebrate with me. It was just fantastic, and I enjoyed it, and I'm certain the people who came by, they too enjoyed that evening. I want to move on. I want to say that people are somewhat concerned with the behavior of the NNP. I don't know if you noticed, they're going around all about the place trying to sow, in my belief, disunity and to rile up, for want of a better word here, their supporters with a lot of misinformation. If you ask me, plenty misinformation out there. But that is what they have been doing for a very long time. If you don't know, between the period 2008 and 2013, they had far more meetings. What they would do is cherry pick some issues. So they would create some issues and they would run on that. They would be in every meeting spreading lies and misinformation about those 4 issues or 5 issues. And they are doing that right now. They are going in different constituencies, spreading a lot of lies, a lot of misinformation, attacking the government on many fronts. And it is causing people to be somewhat concerned. So while they have a right to have a meeting or meetings or to engage people, they also must be responsible. We need a responsible opposition, not one that would go there and tear down and undermine and seek to sabotage what's good for the people. You don't need that. You know, today I was in St. George's and a market vendor called me. She does her selling on the sidewalk. And she said to me, well, the NNP sent some lady to pass around and speak to the vendors and invite them to a meeting. I think they were supposed to have that meeting at Locust Street, right? That hall there. And they pass around trying to get names, phone numbers of vendors, because what the NNP wants to do is to make people believe that they are genuine about these vendors, but they are not. NNP is not genuine about these vendors, because when NNP was in power, remember there was a time the vendors had to run from the streets. They never saw the market, fixing of the market, completing the market as important. So the vendors remain on the streets. But not only that, they were racing them and running them. But, you know, the election was very close and they decided not to do that because they wanted the votes of these people. But the NNP is not genuine about vendors or anybody in this country. So you hear those within the hierarchy of that party saying, well, they need to empathize with people, speak on the behalf of people, right? And listen to people. But the NNP never used to listen to people, and it never used to empathize with people. Only when they're in opposition, you get that kind of language coming from Diablo, coming from the NNP. But generally speaking, remember, they were a god by themselves. They were on top of everybody. They won 15 seats in 2013, 15 again in 2018. And that kind of power went into their heads. But we saw their behavior even when they didn't have that amount of seats. When they had 8, 7, they were functioning just that way. So I am saying the NNP is not accustomed to advocating for anyone or speaking for anyone. When I listen to Kate Lewis there on news regarding this Paul Simon Bridge, I laugh, because that bridge was initially a temporary bridge. You know, if people don't know, that bridge was supposed to be a temporary bridge. So this wooden thing remained there. The NNP has been in power, or was in power, for almost 24 years. What did they do about this wooden bridge? They were recently in power. They were voted out. But hearing Kate Lewis made me laugh earlier, because She didn't do anything significant on that bridge. Why didn't turn it into something permanent, meaning a concrete bridge? Why? And not only turn it into a concrete bridge, there is access to Seamoon and Pearls from many different roads. So it's not like they don't have access, you know. They have access. They could get inside of Seamoon and out with transportation. They could get inside and outside of, in and out of Pearls with transportation. So it's not that it's an emergency, but they want to create some kind of bacchanal, some kind of confusion. And what they're doing, if you ask me, is giving the impression that only NDC that could fix things. Because the NNP wreck the place, mash up the place, and they expect the NDC to come and fix everything overnight. How fair can that be? You were there only recently. The bridge was deemed unsafe for vehicular traffic and the pedestrians. So they block it. You prefer they open it out and allow people to pass on it and have it collapse, killing or injuring people? I'm asking. But look at the Molyneux land slippage and road destruction. That place has been closed for quite a while because they're doing some work there, right? And even before they started doing work there, it was closed because they see it as dangerous for vehicular traffic or for pedestrians, generally speaking. But we are not hearing any yap about that. But they want to create a buzz in Kate Lewis constituency. So as a result, they are manufacturing all of these things. And then you hear Emlyn Pierce speaking. And then you hear this one speaking. They are creating, in my belief, all kinds of things with the hope of, getting their message to the Grenadian people out. But that's how the NNP functions. They have always done it that way. When they are in opposition, they go back on the ground, they go back to roots, they organize their constituency branches, they organize the women's arm, the men's arm, the youth arm, the welfare arm. They would open constituency offices, party office within that constituency. They would have meetings. Everybody who cries, they would come out and cry with them, and they would create all that kind of drama. That is what they are accustomed to. And we are seeing the same playbook being used right now. You know, they have never been sincere about people and caring for people and bringing opportunities for people. The NNP is not that type of party or organization. No. But they want power. They want to get back into power. And they will do anything to get back into power. Folks, I didn't know but I can't recall if I said to you, tonight's program will be 30 minutes. It'll be a short program. Very short. I have to race off from that whole event. In fact, I didn't do the program this morning. I was really, really tired. Cooking, jogging, packing, doing all kind of stuff. I was burnt out, right? Tonight's program will end at 8:30. I want to say to you further, the NNP is a party or organization good at pulling down stuff, not building up, not creating. They're not like that. So they look for all the negatives and all the whatever to create drama. And That is why every time Keith Mitchell goes before a court, or if anyone takes him to court, they tend to win. Do you know that Patrick Simmons took Keith Mitchell to court and won his case? Now Keith Mitchell has to pay Patrick Simmons $130,000. He can appeal if he wants to, but at the end of the day, I believe the same result would come, right? So he has to now pay Patrick Simmons $130,000. Nearly everybody who takes Keith Mitchell to court, nearly everybody, even while he was in government, won the case. He's not good at winning anything. It's a burning shame, but it had to happen because you see, Keith Mitchell believes he can just say anything about anybody and get away with it. But there are people who are willing to take him to task. There are people out here who are unafraid. And you're seeing that over and over again. Every time, or almost every time, somebody drags Keith Mitchell to court, you could bet, you could make a gamble on the outcome. Keith Mitchell stands a greater chance of losing that particular case. So again, I want to commend Patrick Simmons for winning his case against Keith Mitchell. And it goes to show that no one is above the law. No one is above the law. So it's a really good thing. I want to encourage anyone out there to challenge these folks. Challenge them, because the NNP for many, many years with Keith Mitchell and the others, they are weak, and they always, or nearly, well, almost all the time, they tend to lose and not win. Again, I want to say to all of us, we have to get back to that place where we see the politics as critical in maintaining the government. We have to get back to that point. I happen to view the GIS Facebook page, and there is this program done by the PR person in the Ministry of Health. And I know his politics. I know what party he supports. I was very, very shocked when NDC won the election in 2008, and Ann Peters, then she was the Minister of Health, she did not remove that individual from that position, right? For whatever reason. But I followed that. I looked at the intro of the program that this guy is doing. That's Kevin Frederick, the next chapter. It's a good idea to have a program like that out there. Great idea. But the intro of that program has Keith Mitchell taking this vaccine at the center. So as it begins, you have Keith Mitchell being featured. I think those who are responsible for GIS and the Ministry of Health specifically should move quickly to have that intro change. Keith Mitchell should not be featured on any program whatsoever on GIS. Because remember, NDC couldn't get an opportunity to go on GIS to do anything for that matter. No. So I am saying politics requires strategy because I could have identified that thing so quickly by just looking at it for the first time. The first time he needs to be removed from that intro, or else that program needs to be pulled from GIS. If they don't want to remove it, they have to remove the intro. The content of the program is great, but Keith, gone are the days when Keith Mitchell was prime minister and in charge of cabinet and so on. So we have to see some changes made there to the intro of that program, the next chapter. All right? And if you saw that particular program, you will notice that. So the politics, we have to go down on the ground and see the politics as the vehicle to get us into power and to get us remaining in power for a very long time. I want to say to all of us, when I talk about the politics, I am referring to getting the different groups in the different villages and constituency up and running effectively. That is what I am talking about. So it is important for us to get back on the ground and reconnect in a big way to our people or with our people as we approach 1 year in power. And look, I say to people, you are not too big to ask someone with the skill set to help you organize in those constituencies, because the politics is the vehicle that would get you re-elected over and over again. That is why Keith Mitchell is out there saying to his supporters that they have to just get back on the ground and do the political work. And there's a great probability that people go to. That is what he's saying. But the same must be said for the NDC, because an organized NDC is really, really hard to beat. So you have to get back on the ground and do what we must do politically to get that strong footing within the constituencies. I want to also say to you, we are in the dry season. All right? We are still in the dry season. Therefore, there will be water shortage and valve regulation, because Nawasa doesn't have the required amount of storage throughout the island to supply everybody. But we, the people, must do what is required even before the dry season. Yes, we know a big tank might cost a pound and a crown, but we have people constructing houses as we speak now, currently, and they're not even making provisions in that house for a cistern or, that area under the veranda or in the house or wherever for rainwater harvesting, for proper storage of the water. We need to start thinking futuristic, because next dry season, the people will still be complaining about Nawasa and about water. But what are you doing as an individual to prepare for the dry season? We have to prepare for the dry season just like the hurricane season. We have to do the same thing. So I am saying there is a need, an urgent need for awareness for sensitization. So people know dry season starts at this point and ends at this point. So way in advance, they would start making preparations. So you would not be calling the Plead Your Cause program or so and asking for water because you have the tank, you have the storage, you have those things in place. I want to say to you, we are still in the dry season and there's a no burn policy in place. So quit burning. All right? I want to congratulate all the police officers who were promoted and forget about the rumor out there that 70% of the people who were promoted, they're NNP, and those who, the 30%, they're NDC. Forget about all of that. More of our people this time around got promotion versus the last time. And when I tell you that, I know what I'm talking about. There are some people who are out for mischief. They're mischievous. So they spread all these misinformation, all this false information, giving you this idea that the NNP, they're the ones who, benefiting from this promotion within the force. That's not the case. All right? One or two of them will get promoted because the promotion is based on merit, based on, experience and other things like that. So again, I am saying quit the mischief surrounding that. Congratulations to all the people who are promoted, and I wish you all the best. Folks, I have to wrap it up. It's now 8:30. I'm having a short program tonight. In fact, I didn't even want to come on tonight first. I was tired. All right? Because I say today I just taken a break. But I thought I should come in and speak to you for 30 minutes, and then we take it from there tomorrow, God's willing, as normal from 8 a.m. So again, have a pleasant night. Take good care. I have to wrap it up now. I am tired from that event. I burn out. And rest is important.
The proceeding was a paid program. The views